Everything is fluorescent light bulb, obviously, but they had these 2 seats that were firmly planted into the ground. Okay, they were complete metal. They were like tiny stools, very uncomfortable, with like braces on the side so you can handcuff someone to them. Okay, and there was also a seat for like a lawyer, so I sat down on the lawyer seat on the corner to establish dominance, because I've watched too many JCS interrogation videos, and I knew I had to have command over the room. So I didn't sit in the cuck chair. Instead, I sat in the lawyer chair, and we got to talking. And let me tell you, folks, the TikTokers that talked about being detained, they were right. It was an insane fucking situation. So, it's very obvious that they knew exactly who the fuck I was. It's very obvious that they knew how to like navigate the conversation, broaching the conversation in a way where it was like free flowing, where in the process of discovery, he was adding on additional talking points. You know, he's like, oh, what are you doing in Chicago? And I was very revealing. I was like, because I have a speaking engagement at University of Chicago. And he was like, oh, what kind of speaking engagement? It's like, I don't know, some like journalism school stuff. And he's like, oh, well, since you mentioned that, he kept saying, oh, well, since you mentioned that, what do you do as a job? And I was like, I'm a Twitch streamer. And he's like, well, since you mentioned that you were a Twitch streamer, what kind of things do you stream about? So I was just like, yeah, I play video games, but I also do current events sometimes, drama, internet. And he's like, oh, since you mentioned that, you talk about the things that you talk about. Do you talk about the news? And I was like, yeah, I talk about the news. And he kept saying, okay, so when you talk about the news, do you talk about the war? And I was like, what do you mean by that? He's like, do you talk about Trump? And that was the first time where I was like, what the fuck is this question? Like, I literally straight up told him, I was like, why are you asking me this? Like, I was like, what does this have to do with anything? And it was interesting because they, like, the dude asked so many insane questions, none of which is illegal, by the way. I just need you to understand, nothing I have done thus far is illegal, as in nothing I've done online is illegal as of now, if that makes sense. Now,